What's up, Epic 7? Let's talk about the Overlord collab in this event and how to squeeze every ounce of gear out of this thing. We're going to go over free-to-play options as well as high-end whale tier options to help you get the most you can out of this event. First things first, if you're new to the game, welcome to. What you want to do first, go into this event, click View Story, and complete Chapter 1. Chapter 2 and 3 will be open in 1 to 2 weeks respectively, but complete Chapter 1 all the way through. Watch the story, read it. It's a pretty fun story. It's a whole lot better than just friends come to dinner and then leave like past collabs. Once you complete Act 5 and have done the entire story, as a reward, you will get the ML5 unit Ainz for free. And that's pretty nice because he is all you need to farm this event. Once you pick up Ainz, you're ready to farm the event, but first let's go over what these other 3 buttons mean. We have Sandstorm, Desert, Orbis Treasury, and Overlord's Force. We'll check out Overlord's Force first. Now, as you farm the event, you will earn currency. Every time you complete a round of the event, you'll get a currency drop, and you can use this currency to buy things. The first thing you're going to want to buy with that currency is once you get to 500 currency, buy this level 1 equipment. This will give you the Ring of Ainz and the Staff of Ainz. The ring is an imprint. It will take your Ainz from just no imprints at all to a B rank imprint, and the staff will give you bonus currency drops while it's on him. So you definitely want to get this first. This should be your first purchase. Then you will move on to the second, which I believe is 700 currency, and then the third, which is 900 currency if I'm not mistaken. And that will take you all the way up to S imprint. Once you get to S imprint, it's going to be a lot faster and a lot cleaner and a lot easier. They also come with some nice things like some more bookmarks so you can try hard to get Albedo. Now, there are more imprints down the road, but if you notice, the currency changes to the compasses for the last 3 to unlock. Oh, sorry, for the last 2 to unlock. The last one's just a bonus you get. The compasses will unlock on week 2 of the event when Shaltir drops. So for right now, this is as far as you can take it, and you'll be done with this section. So that's the first place you should use your detailed instruction currency as it drops. Your next step is Orbis Treasury. Now, when you go into the Orbis Treasury, you'll find 2 different loot exchanges. There's the Epic Equipment Exchange and the Loot Exchange. Now, I've already bought out the Loot Exchange, but normally there'll be a big green box here that says 100 Currency Exchange. When you click on that, you will randomly get a drop, and it'll be one of these. And there is no rhyme or reason, they just randomly pop out. Maybe you get a Catalyst. Maybe you get 60 Skystones. Maybe you get some Molagora. Maybe you get another Staff of Ainz, which will give you even more currency when you run the event. Now, although it is random, they are finite. So it is possible to get every single thing in this shop. You don't have to worry about, oh, my bad luck, I didn't get the Mana Revision Stone. Oh, I didn't get the nice epic gear. You will eventually get everything if you keep spending the 100 currency, and you should. This is where your currency, after you've completed Ainz's imprints as far as you can, this is where all your currency should go. Buy out this section and make sure when you get the Staff of Ainz, you click on his artifact and you enhance and you fuse them together. You want to fuse the multiple artifacts into one so you can get the bonus currency, because that bonus currency stacks with the number of imprints. Right now, there's no imprints in this staff, so I only get plus 5% currency. But if I fuse all 2 of those staves, as well as the one I get from completing the adventure, that will give me 3 notches filled, and that'll take me up to a 15% bonus currency. And then we'll be able to get the last 2 next week for the 20% bonus currency on this staff. Much like Albedo's artifact, the more of those you get, the more currency you get, though I do encourage you to not fuse her artifacts. 10% additional currency is nice if you have 2 of them, but I strongly recommend you sit on 2 of them. You never know when this artifact might be good on multiple characters, and you're going to regret going for 10% more currency when you could have just went for 10% less currency and kept a duplication of the artifact. The last part of this Orbis Treasury is the Epic Equipment Exchange, and once you've bought out the Loot Exchange, and once you've maxed out your Ainz's imprints, this is where you will spend all of your currency. Once you get 400 or more currency, you click on it and you get to select the set that you get a random epic piece from. So if you want destruction sets, you select it, you hit craft, and boom, out pops an epic piece. And it is, wow, that's just terrible. But it's always epic, it's always level 85, it's always red gear. So this is the fastest way to get good gear, and it lets you focus on a specific set. If you need more immunity gear, you select immunity. If you need more destruction gear, you select destruction. And you don't have to save this currency, because the following week when we get the speed set, crit set, and pen set, that week we'll be using the compasses. So whatever currency you've got, burn it all up and get that gear. The last button we're going to push is Sandstorm Desert, and this is going to take us into the fight. Now, there are 4 principal levels that you can farm, each one paying more currency than the one before. All of them have a chance to drop level 85 equipment, and it will always be epic, and it will always be one of these 3 sets. Okay? You don't have to worry about purple gear or blue gear. You don't have to worry about level 70 or level 67 gear. You don't have to worry about it being sets other than these 3 sets. And that's what makes this event so valuable. All drops are epic, and all drops are specifically these 3 sets. Now, this is week 1 through week 3. Whenever you do Sandstorm Desert, you can chase these sets. Starting week 2, another button is going to appear here. That'll take us to the second half of the event. And in that half of the event, the sets you're going to be able to obtain are going to be Speed Set, Pen Set, and Crit Set. Probably the 3 most important sets in the entire game. So if you are relatively new to the game, this is what you want to do. Any stamina that you have in your mailbox that's going to expire before maintenance on Thursday, go ahead and collect it and pump it into this event. But if you have stamina that's going to be around after maintenance on Thursday, save it. Save it and use it next week, because I don't care who you are or how long you've played. I think we can all agree Speed Set is the most important set in the game. Even if you're a slow player, you're going to need some level of Speed Set to run your account. Whether it's on your Soul Weavers or your tanks, somebody's going to want Speed Set. Not everybody is going to be running Banshee gear. Also, Crit Set has got the highest gear score of any 2-piece set in the game. Very important for getting things done. And Pen Set is one of the most difficult to farm, difficult to obtain sets, and you can force focus Pen Set at level 85 epic. This is an insane quality of gear. I'm not kidding. If you play this right, you will cover 3 months of growth in just 3 weeks. That said, let's get into the fights. Now, ideally, you want to run Ainz, and Albedo, because Albedo gives you a bonus that whenever you kill one of the scorpions on the enemy, 15,000 fixed damage goes into the boss. And there are 3 scorpions, so that is an additional 45k of damage going into the boss. It'll clear so much faster. And we'll go into that here in a little bit, but you don't need Albedo. It just speeds things up a lot. If you were unlucky and you weren't able to pull her yet, have faith, I know you'll get her, then you can just run the free Ainz. Now, to show that you don't need very good gear on him, I took his boots off. He doesn't have any set. He doesn't have any speed boots. He's just running his artifact. You'll notice my artifact is got all of the imprints in it. It's up to +3, so I'm going to get maximum amount of rewards from the artifact bonuses. Remember, if you have the unit's artifacts, you're going to get 15% more currency at that level. Now, Ainz all by himself may not be enough to survive. If you really want to speed it along, you can put Fire Shuri on the team and stick him on the artifact Bloodstone. This will speed it up a lot, right? Bloodstone will be an additional source of healing, because Ainz healing all by himself isn't quite enough, and the constant CR pushing from Fire Shuri will really take it to the next level. But not all new players will have him. You can legitimately put any Soul Weaver in the game on here. We'll just go with one that everybody has, I believe. How about, Tamarin would be one of the best with her CR pushing and constant healing, but not everybody has a Tamarin. Angelic Montmorency. How about that? I'm not even kidding. You know what? How about Aether? You want to run this as new player friendly as possible. We'll put Ainz up front because I don't know if Aether even has gear. He's only level 50. Hey, he does have some gear. Artifact doesn't matter. He's just here to take the edge off. Now, one more thing I want to point out before we start the fight is this buff that's over top of Ainz's head. This will be over top of Albedo and Shaltir's heads as well. And what this buff is the lead hero buff. And what this does is, regardless of how your hero is put together, inside the fight, he will be level 60, max awakened, max Molagorid, plus 15, fully decked out. You do not need to level, you do not need to awaken, you do not need to Molagor this unit. The only thing you need to do is put gear on him and manage your imprints. So he'll work just fine even at level 5. Do not spend resources on this unit if you only plan to use him in this side story. The game takes care of that for you. Oh, and one last thing, everybody, make sure you have your side story pet in place to get the additional boost to currency. This will impact the currency drop. Now, it doesn't have to be an S rank pet at plus 5. You won't get this full 60%, but any little bit helps. You could run a, here you go. You could run a B imprint at level 1. It's still 6 3/4% extra currency. I mean, hey, a buck's a buck. Don't leave money on the table. Make sure you take your side story pet. Do not use a hunt pet. This is not a hunt. None of these skills will proc or work. It's got to be a side story pet. And that's it. Once you've done all that, you click start and we jump into the fight. We'll turn Aether's skills on so he can actually do some healing. So this is how the fight works. Ainz will go and uses his skill. The goal of all life is death. And this puts death sentence on the enemy. So that on the 12th turn, and that means everybody takes a turn, you'll notice this counter's going down. Scorpion hits, 4. Another Scorpion hits, that's 5. Another Scorpion. Ainz is countering, 6. Once this gets to 12, it will do 50,000 damage to the enemy team. Watch this hit. Boom. Now mine did a little more than 50,000 damage because my Ainz is already S, but that's okay. You literally can't fail using this team. It's just slow. This will get you your currency. And if you're a relatively new player, see, Ainz took a chunk of damage there, but Aether heals it up. Ainz also heals on his own attacks, on his counters, so between Aether taking the edge off and Ainz healing, it's plenty to keep you going. Notice the healing there. So, this is the worst possible team, but it's also free. Everybody gets Aether when they start the game, and everybody gets Ainz when they complete the quest, and this is going to let you farm the event. Now, it's slow. That's true. But if you're relatively new and starting out, you probably don't have 1,000 leafs and unlimited stamina. You want to be able to farm this event all week. You're going to burn through all of your resources pretty quickly, so you can run this team until you get all the currency you need. There we go. Death sentence just procced again. One more death sentence and we will probably have him dead. I hope this shows that this event is literally for everybody. You know, even you, the guy that started today because of Overlord. This event is for you too. Everybody can farm this event at the highest level. It's just, we'll go over some other teams here in a minute that will make it faster. Oh, Death Sentence didn't quite kill on that one, but you know what? If you put another DPS unit on the team, you could probably have taken that edge off, but we reapply Death Sentence with the goal of all life is death, and it's just going to be another 12 turns until the monster is dead. Now, once you beat it for the first time, you'll be able to have your pet on there and put it into auto battle mode, and you'll be good to go. Just run it in the background while you're doing other things. And it's over, just like that. And look at that, level 85 gear. Never is purple, never is blue, always is 85. And we got 78 currency. Now, for those of you who are a little bit luckier and managed to pull Albedo, you can just straight up replace Aether or whoever your healer is with Albedo and legitimately just run these 2 units. Again, much like Ainz, Albedo has the main character buff, so she works fine at level 1. She works fine with no Mola, no Awakening, because she gets all of that inside of this fight. So again, just put some pieces of gear on her, and you're good to go. The kind of gear doesn't really matter. I put some damage gear on her to speed it up a little bit, but really, she just needs to be tanky enough to take some hits, and that's all. If you've got her artifact, run it. Her artifact will give you additional currency. If you don't have Albedo, but you do have the artifact, put a random knight on the team somewhere and give that knight her artifact, because you want the artifact for the additional 10% to 40% of currency, depending on how many imprints you have on the artifact. Now, I will caution you. Limited artifacts don't come around terribly often. I've got 2 of them, and you notice I've not fused them together. I am passing on getting 10% additional currency because I want to make sure that there's not another knight down the road who uses this artifact, and then I'll be sad that I fused it, because you can't unfuse it. I fused my rocket punches together from the Espa collab, and I've regretted it ever since. So if you've got 2, maybe the 10% isn't worth it to you. If you've got 3, then go ahead and fuse 1. But I think if you've got 2, hang on to 2. But definitely don't chase 2 until we know for sure it's a good artifact. Like I said before, make sure you have your side story currency pet up so you're getting max currency, and this is all you need, and press go. Now you can choose to leave Albedo's skills on or off. It doesn't really change that much here. I prefer to leave her skills on for this because she has a really nice strip and defense break, and that can help speed things along a little bit, especially if you went with a damage build on Albedo. So this hit should strip, apply a defense break, and now you'll hit a little bit harder. Now remember, the principal damage here is from Ainz Ulgon's Death Sentence ability. That will go off and proc massive damage into Scorpetra every 12 turns. But hey, a little bit of chip damage doesn't hurt, and it can be just enough where you only need 2 of those death sentences to go off to kill the Moss. You can see how we're just doing negligible damage. It looks like we're going to be here forever, right? We're only down to 95% health. But in 2 turns, Death Sentence will proc. 1 turn, bam! Look at that health bar. All that has to do is happen 1 more time. And if you've lined it up right, Ainz Ulgon should apply the second Death Sentence as soon as the first falls away. If he uses this skill early, too early, then slow your Ainz down. If he attacks when he should be using this, speed your Ainz up a little bit. This is called speed tuning, and it's important for efficiency. You definitely don't want to apply Death Sentence while it's already on, because they don't stack. So you want to make sure that Death Sentence pops, and then Ainz's very next turn, he's ready to put the skill on again, and it's usually just a matter of adding or subtracting speed gear to the unit to achieve that goal. Those of you who are veterans of the game will understand that. I'm trying to explain this for newer players. If you are confused by any of this or have any questions about how to set this team up, hit me up in Discord. There'll be a link in the description of the video. Jump in, send me a direct message, happy to help you, and boom. We've killed it with just the collab characters. And it wasn't that slow. It was a pretty fast clear. But for those of you who are here for an insanely fast clear, for the creme de la creme of the speed clears for this event, those of you who are sitting on thousands of leafs and you want this over as quickly as possible, this is the fastest team I have found. Now, there are several teams that will speed it up, but none of these teams speeds it up quite like this. Now, I know you guys aren't going to like this because I'm going to use a lot of limited stuff But like I said, you can speed this up a lot by using Sinful Angelica and Commander Lorena, by using Landy or Ram or all, Fire Shuri speeds this up tremendously. You put just Fire Shuri on this team with Albedo and Ainz and you will speed this up tremendously. But if you really want the maximum speed, this is the team that does it. Now for the super fast team, we're going to go ahead and put our boots back on Ainz Ulgon. Now, I should mention the 0% effectiveness. You need, the boss has 50% effect resistance, so you need a minimum of 35% effectiveness to stick debuffs, but Ainz gets a special bonus from his imprints that says, when using a skill, ignores effect resistance. So he doesn't need any effectiveness at all. So don't worry about that stat early on. As for speed, this is way, way overkill. I think anything above 220 is plenty for this fight. But that's how I have him built. Next is Albedo. Albedo just needs 6 pieces of gear, but if you really want to try to squeeze some extra time out of it, give her a damage set. Of course, she is on her artifact so that we get the bonus currency, but throwing some additional damage in there is fine. Now the key to speed is going to be Camilla and Rem. The reason we're using Camilla and Rem is that's 3 chances defense break and a lot of extra damage, and Rem's AoE skills should help clear the scorpions. First, Camilla. I'm running Camilla on Benimaru's Tachi so that she always has the attack buff, and that way we can keep her skills off. You want her fast because she is basically Rem. She attacks with Rem's sword. So whenever she attacks, Rem attacks, so you want her to be able to take turns. Other than that, stats really don't matter. Rem, we just took our standard Wyvern Rem. And I changed 1 or 2 pieces to get her up to 100% crit chance. You can try putting her on Azure Comet to turn a normal Wyvern Rem into 100% crit Rem, but I really think you want the damage that Our Beautiful Seasons gives. This is a 20% increase to damage per hit, and that's pretty massive. If you do not have this artifact, alternatively, you can use a Symbol of Unity for a 16% damage bonus, or you can use Jacko's Symbol if you have that. It could actually potentially be more damage than this. Only works on single target attacks though, so you aren't going to get much benefit from the AoE hits from her Splash and S3. And one last time for the people in the back, make sure you have your event currency side story pet on. That's 16.5% more currency at max level, and even at not max level, it is still a chunk of currency. A buck's a buck, take it. Don't leave currency on the table. Make sure you have your pet equipped. And then you just press auto. For this team, we can turn Albedo's skills off. We don't really need them. If you're not going to run Camilla, if you're going to instead run Singelica or Eligos, then you might want to consider leaving Albedo's skills on so you have more chances for defense break. Ainz applies Death Sentence. Rem does her AoE S3. The reason you're leaving Rem's skills on is her AoE attack gives her attack buff. Now you notice we're still doing pretty pathetic damage, right? It's because the ads aren't dead yet. Because the ads aren't dead, we have this massive buff which reduces damage by 70%. And we need to get them killed. But when Ainz does his big skill, the pop damage will finish off the ads. This skill drops. And now watch the damage from Red. Bam! And because of Demon Mode, she hits again. And then Camilla goes. And it's over. This has been pretty consistently between 1 minute and 1 minute and 20 seconds. It is the fastest team I've found so far. I did have one clear that was a little bit faster, using Commander Lorena in the place of Rem. And it's only because she hit like a truck, but it's contingent on Camilla sticking that 50% defense break at the very end, so it's not stable at all. Rem is still the queen of stability for this fight. I know Rem's a limited unit. I know Benimaru's Tachi's a limited artifact. I know that we're talking about getting a high level, if not plus 30, Benimaru's Tachi. I didn't say that this was going to be an accessible team. I said this was going to be the fastest team when you have everything going for you. If you do not have these units, you can still make a substantially faster team. You can run Fire Shuri in this position, and he shaves about 10 to 15 seconds off of the fight. You can run Landy in this position, and she shaves 10 to 15 seconds off the fight. There is a variety of combinations that you can run, all bring extra speed and damage to the team that make it run faster than just this base team. But we're only talking about a difference of 30 to 40 seconds between this base team and the team that I just showed off. And when you consider this is going to be up for 3 weeks, unless you are a Leviathan tier whale and are sitting on thousands of leafs, do you really need to go super fast? Set your auto battle, run it in the background. If you get towards the end of the event and you still have thousands of leafs, then yeah, maybe you're the kind of guy that needed the super fast team. Everyone else, you can legitimately just run this, press auto, run it in the background, and call it a day with unleveled, unmolded, unawakened units, because you get everything from this buff. As for the level 5, you only have to do this once, so who cares about speed? Run whatever combination team that that I showed off before, and throw an additional healer on the team, and you're done. Throw Blaze Dingo, throw Montmorency, throw anybody, any Soul Weaver on the team, and you're going to be able to clear level 5 on full auto. It just might take a few minutes to do. And that's it. It's been a while since we had this accessible and easy of an event. Hopefully there's a little bit more challenge to next week, but I hope this video was of value to some of you, that you were able to glean from it ways to really milk this event for all it's worth. Let me know in the comment section if you are going to be going hard on the obtainable sets this week, or if you're going to be waiting till next week for the speed, crit, and pen set. I'm curious to see what you guys are doing. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to join my Discord, hit me up there, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care, everybody.